Hi there, this is Becky Romine again from MU Pre-ETS, and today I'm going to do a lesson on jobs in the restaurant business. One of the things we do as pre-employment specialists is we try to introduce our students to different types of jobs so they know what's out there. There are lots of jobs in restaurants. More than just being a waiter or waitress, there's just so much that a student could do in a restaurant. So I thought it would be good to show you different types of jobs that are in restaurants so you can show them with your student, with your son, daughter, whatever, and have them decide what kind of job in a restaurant looks good to them. Could be none of them, could be all of them, but I think it's a good idea for your students to see what's out there. I'm sure you guys go to restaurants, so they see them. And next time you go to a restaurant, you can talk about those different jobs and what each person in that restaurant is doing. First, I'm going to show you a video that I found. Hopefully I know how to do this. And it shows a bunch of different jobs in a restaurant and kind of gives an idea of what each one does. Then I'm going to do a little one-by-one introduction of each of those jobs to be a little more clear. So let's try this. Oh, that's not what I want. I want this one. Okay, hang on. Okay, so we're gonna make this one, hopefully the whole screen. All right.
Food service workers perform customer service, food preparation, and cleaning duties in food service establishments from fast food restaurants to hospitals and hotels. Counter attendants and baristas take orders, process payments, and serve food at fast food restaurants, snack bars, cafeterias, movie theaters, and coffee shops. They heat simple food items and assemble salads or sandwiches. Counter attendants also fill beverage orders and may prepare specialties such as milkshakes and ice cream sundaes. Dining room and cafeteria attendants, also called bussers, clean and set tables, remove dirty dishes, and keep serving areas stocked with trays, dishes, and silverware. They may also fill water glasses and distribute dishes to diners. Bartender helpers clean bar equipment and glasses. These workers spend most of the time on their feet and often carry heavy trays. During busy dining periods, they are under pressure to serve customers quickly and efficiently. Minor injuries such as slips and burns are common. To reduce risks, workers often wear gloves, aprons, or non-slip shoes. Part-time work, seasonal work, and early morning or late evening hours are common, especially for fast food workers. Workers serving alcohol generally must be 18 years of age or older. Most food and beverage service workers receive short-term, on-the-job training. There are no formal educational requirements.
All right. Okay, so I'm almost back. Hang on one second. I'm going to stop this share. Okay, so as you can see, that kind of gives you an idea of all some of the things that maybe a busing person would do. That's a person who cleans up after or helps with different types of things. But you could see that there was a server or a waitress. They did some cleaning. They did take off things off the desk. But they also showed how they help everybody that's in the restaurant. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you, hopefully, if I can figure out how to do it, is a little, it's a, it's a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, jobs in a restaurant. Basically, I'm going to try to figure out how to do this. I don't know if I can, no, I don't want to do that. So, jobs in a restaurant. The first job that we can talk about is a waiter or a waitress. As you can see in the pictures, waiters and waitresses, a waiter is the name we give to a man or a boy, and a waitress is the name we give to a woman or a girl. So as you can see in the pictures, the waiter and waitress has to be able to carry food on a plate and not spill it, hopefully. Have to be able to carry drinks on a tray, and they're bringing the food to the people at the table. Essentially, a waiter or a waitress, they take orders, they serve the food and drinks to people, and they have to do it while the people are sitting at the table without spilling the food on them, without spilling the drinks on them. So if your student feels like he or she can do that, that's a great job for them. The next job is a chef. A chef prepares, seasons, and cooks salads, soups, fish, meats, vegetables, desserts, or other foods at a restaurant. So if you've got a student who likes to cook, doesn't mind being around a hot stove, is careful around knives and utensils, and is careful around a stove, a chef might be a good job for them. Excuse me. The next job at a restaurant would be a cashier. A cashier takes money and gives change to the people who have eaten in a restaurant. They use cash registers, credit card scanners, and they know how to count money. As you can see in the pictures, you've got people with different kinds of cash registers. The lady in the picture is using what I would call an old-fashioned cash registers that has buttons and has to, you have to push each of the buttons. The cashier on the left is using one that's more like a touchscreen computer. So there are different types of ways to become a cashier, but the number one thing of being a cashier is you have to be able to count money. You have to understand money, and you have to be able to count money. The next job is a host or a hostess of a restaurant. The host is a boy or a man. A hostess is a girl or a woman. The host or hostess welcomes and greets people who come into a restaurant, and they seat them at their tables. Pretty simple. So you have to have good verbal skills. You have to be able to say hi, smile, be nice. You have to be able to carry the menus, walk to the table, those kinds of things. Or if you were in a wheelchair, actually I've been to a restaurant where the hostess was in a wheelchair, and that was actually just fine. As long as the person can wheel or move themselves to the table and welcome and greet the customers, perfect. A best person is the last job we're going to look at in a restaurant, and that is a person who cleans tables, removes dirty dishes, replaces dirty tablecloths, sets tables, replenishes supplies of tablecloths, silverware, glassware, and dishes, and sometimes serves water and coffee to customers. So, as you can see, there are a number of different jobs that have different duties that your student may want to do in the future. I have some really cool little worksheets that I would love you to do with your student. The first one I'm going to show you is pretty simple. Hang on, why is that not working? And it is, excuse me, jobs in a restaurant. So as you can see, it's just got the names of each of those jobs and a picture to go with it. Then it's got the question, would you like to work in a restaurant? Yes or no? So go ahead and ask your son or daughter, would they like to work in a restaurant? If yes, which job would you like to have? And we've got the pictures below so they know what they are. We've talked about them before. Then I also have another happy little worksheet that you can do with your student, and I will attach it to your email so that you can access it. Ooh, I'm not seeing what I want. Oh, here it is. And this is a matching game. So your student you can read the word to them and they can point to the picture, and then you draw a line to match. So they can see the picture and understand what each of those words are. As you can see, there is bus person, cashier, hostess, host, and chef and waiter, and then the pictures that go with it. So again, read the word, have your student point to the picture that matches that word, and then you can draw a line to it for them. Then there's another couple of worksheets I've got for you. And the first one is called, well, they're both called items used in a restaurant. And the first one is items used in a restaurant. So this basically just shows a picture of the items used in the restaurant, and you can have your student write the words if they're good at writing. If not, you can just go through and review and ask them, what is this picture? Point to the picture and ask them, what is this? The first one is a menu. Then there's a fork, a table, an apron, a napkin, a plate, a knife, and gloves, and a spoon. And one of the reasons why we talk about the items that you use in certain jobs is that, some students may not like the way certain fabrics feel, or they may not want to wear gloves. Gloves bother them. Or they may not like the sound of silverware clinking. So possibly working in a restaurant wouldn't be the best for them. So these are things that you need to know to determine whether or not you should try to get a job for your student in a restaurant. Then the last worksheet that I have is, it's a more or less a matching of the items used in the restaurant that we just reviewed. It's the pictures, the words down the middle, just like before. And again, read the word and ask your student to point to the picture that matches the word. We've got menu, table, apron, napkin, plate, knife, spoon, and fork. So after you've completed all this and you've discussed this with your student, it's probably, you're going to be able to decide, is working in a restaurant something that your child would like to do? And there are plenty of jobs out there, and maybe in the next lesson I can do some activities where we're actually doing a restaurant activity so that you can try it out with your student. Thank you very much for paying attention and listening.